This is a classic example of the left. If you point out how many young people are dying like athletes, just dropping dead on the field, and I see reports like this regularly. I mean, regularly, like at least every week. And this is just what we know of. And then you say, well, shouldn't we just investigate whether the vaccine has been beneficial or harmful to young people? Young meaning under 50. That's a pretty large young group. Shouldn't we just investigate? Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. Well, my children are completely vaccinated. By the way, I'm not sure that I would now do that. Talking about lying and what the left has done to medicine, that in California now, as of last week, in California, a doctor who says things that the AMA or the California Medical Association differ with can lose his or her license to practice medicine. Doctors are not free in California to speak out on medical issues. If Pfizer, that's really what it means. If Pfizer doesn't agree with them, I mean the level of corruption, masking kids at 2 years of age. First of all, I think you're an idiot if you mask yourself at 52 years of age, but that is beside the point. But a 2-year-old, we have hurt children, and the children's hospitals that allow surgeons to remove healthy girls' breasts if they say they're boys. Did you hear the latest story? It was just, what was it, yesterday I reported? Where was it? Outside of San Diego. In the girls' locker room, a male shows his genitalia in the showers. The 17-year-old says, I don't want to see it. I don't want my little sister to see this. But they say, sorry. This was at the YMCA, once called the Young Men's Children Association. Did you get it? You got it. You guys are fast. 17-year-old scolded for crying over transgender woman's penis at YMCA. Look, she's scolded. The 17-year-old is scolded.
This is the girl speaking?
Yes, this is the girl speaking. That's exactly right.
Rebecca Phillips, 17, said she was changing
after swimming one day last month at the Santee YMCA when she spotted a naked trans woman in the changing rooms. So here's the story. You get it? This is the sick world we're living in.
What is a naked?
If you show your penis to young girls, you are arrested. But if you show your penis to young girls and say you're a female, you're rewarded.
And protected.
Clown world.
Protected, rewarded, and the girl who objects is the one who's punished.
So let me ask you
this
question. You're intolerant.
That's right.
Let me ask this question. So to me, logically, that can't make sense to anybody, right? Logically. So Dennis, how much of this creating momentum has to do that the 1% are so much louder than the other 99% who are just saying it's not a big deal, let it go?
Well, what you have is the usual phenomenon. Cowardice is the human norm. Again, human nature is not basically good. Most people, including me, our nature is to be a coward. I've had to fight that, and I'm not a coward. That I can say categorically. But you have to fight it. The natural inclination in life is to be afraid of being disliked, afraid of being ostracized, afraid of being fired, afraid of being shut down, afraid of whatever it is. That's another reason why the only answer to all of this is the Judeo-Christian code, which says you fear God, you don't fear man. The only out in not fearing human beings is essentially fearing God. It's a basic biblical principle. But that's what it is. People are afraid to. Why do the girls at the University of Pennsylvania swim team? Why did they continue to compete when this guy who said he's a girl went from male swimming, where he was a nothing, to female swimming, where he was a champion? He deprived all these girls of winning races because he said he was a girl. And every one of the girls had to go along with this, knowing they were being cheated by a man who says he's a woman. They were cheated. The guy's a cheat, or the woman's a cheat. Call him, her, whatever you want, is a cheat. And the New York Times supports cheating. The New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, they are morally awful vehicles for lying to the public. And so here is the question. Why did the girls compete? If every girl on the team said, we're not racing, it would have ended this fraud of having men compete in women's sports. But they won't. They're afraid, because if they do that, the University of Pennsylvania threatened them. We will come down. They may have been evicted from the university, but they wouldn't have kicked out a whole team. But the girls understandably were afraid. They'll be called transphobes. You don't want to be called a transphobe, right? Of course not. New York Times will call you a transphobe. If the girls decided not to race, the New York Times, that sick editorial page of the New York Times, would have said they're transphobic girls. They're haters.
Which label right now is the biggest career-ending label one can get? There's racist,
homophobe, transphobe. I mean, and by the way, did you ever notice, isn't it interesting? There's a word for Jew hatred, anti-Semitism. There's a word for Muslim hatred, Islamophobe. Why isn't there a word for Christian hatred? Because the left makes up our vocabulary. The most hated religious group on earth today are Christians. They're certainly the most killed. And I'm a Jew saying this. There's no word for, nobody hates Christians. If you show a picture of Muhammad, a painting of Muhammad, not a cartoon, a Muslim painting of Muhammad just done in Hamline University, look that one up, Hamline, the art professor who taught the course said, I'm telling you in advance, I'm putting up an ancient rendition of Muhammad. If you are offended by it, you may not want to watch. And she was kicked out of Hamline University. She's an art professor. She showed the piece.
Or Charlie Hebdo.
But that was that they were murdered. Right. Yes. So yeah, there it is. Hamline University is fired over medieval painting done by Muslims. You can't show a Muslim painting of Muhammad.
Zoom in for the picture so we can see what the picture is.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, this is because thou shalt not create any caricature, painting, or image.
Yeah, but that's not in the Quran. That's some Muslims believe that. Later Muslims, medieval Muslims didn't believe that. They did make paintings of Muhammad. But anyway, you can have a crucifix. The reason I raise it, there's a famous quote unquote artwork, Piss Christ, which put that one up.
Oh yeah,
that toured the American museums.
It's a jar of urine with this.
The guy put a crucifix in his own urine, and it went all around the country. Nobody's afraid of Christians.
The Book of Mormon. It's a whole thing on Broadway.
Nobody's afraid of Mormons.
Of course.
That they're afraid of Muslims because cowardice is a central tenet of leftism.
Back to Pat's question of which is the worst label to have. Is there one that's worse than anti-Semitic with Kanye? That's obviously not a thing.
They're all tied for first. However they can dismiss you, they'll just use the term. I don't know why.
It used to be racist though. Right? Well, if you were labeled a racist or a bigot, you were done.
Right, but every white is racist, so therefore there's no such thing as racism. As soon as you say every, you have ended the issue.
That's right.
But by the way, it's such a joke. Here I am. I'm the DEI head at your university, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I'm telling you, every white is racist. So obviously, they're speaking autobiographically, are they not? Hello, I'm a racist, and you should trust me. I don't quite follow that. Anyway, that's another great lie. For the record, I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't give a damn about your color. Simple as that. But that is now called racist. Did you know? Look up that. University of California list of microaggressions. If you say colorblind, you're a racist. Colorblind is a racist. Yes. If you say there is only one race, the human race, that is considered racist by the University of California.
You were how old when MLK was?
There it is, colorblindness.
So I would have been, what was that, 68?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would have been 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything I assume that was when you were going through a major situation in your life. You're in college, you're learning, you're seeing.
Well, no, all these assassinations were. I didn't understand what was happening to my beloved America. I have to admit it was disconcerting, obviously.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.